So I would never normally buy a naked bike. But that's exactly what I've just done. And that does not suit my channel. But there's a catch, a massive catch. Now, don't get me wrong, I can understand the lure of having a street bike for the street. But this channel is all about race bikes. So how does this fit? Well, a couple of years ago, Aprilia, in their awesome wisdom, came up with an idea. They came up with the idea of building a 660 RS and calling it the Super Trophy, or Super Trofeo if you're Italian. And that is what we're gonna do to this, but it gets better. I want to introduce you to my good friend Andy. Now, Andy knows the surprise already, but we're giving it to Andy at the end of the build, and this is going to be Andy's first ever track bike. Pretty stoked about that?
Pretty stoked.
Have you ever ridden on track before?
I have, but not like a full-on track day, so this will be a new experience.
Okay, so we're going to have to come up with some design schemes. We're going to start ordering parts, and what we're going to try and do is, instead of putting this whole thing into 6 or 8 episodes, we're going to try and finish it in 3. Do you reckon we can do it in 3 episodes?
Be a stretch, but I reckon it's possible.
It would be a stretch, but I'm thinking episode 1, which is now, we strip the bike down, we analyze everything that's wrong with it, we order all the parts. I mean, we've got parts already, let's be honest. Episode 2, we put all the new parts back on, we build it all back up so it's functioning. Episode 3, design, paint, decals, tuning, maybe a test ride, and that should be it. 3 episodes, get it done quickly, and get you on track. I think that's the way to go, so stay tuned. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was, like, to be honest. Forks obviously gone, but we've got a new set of forks just here, so we've already ordered them. Sorry about that noisy ass bird. Got some Moto Expert Canby fairings coming in. They're already on their way, they're in Australia. We've got a quick shifter, that's on its way. We've got a new set of forks. The IMU, so we can tune it. Do you want to explain to users what our plan is with this bike for tuning?
Best solution that I could find was doing an up map with a Gabbro racing tune, which seems you can get in any configuration you want. So it'll have the up and down quick shifter, the IMU for the cornering ABS, and then yeah, full power tune. So
in Australia, we've got the concept of LAMS, Learner Approved Motorcycle Scheme, and what that does is it restricts most bikes to 660 cc's, but most manufacturers, Yamaha, Honda, etc., they do actual mechanical restrictions, don't they? So they do things like a gearing difference, an air intake difference. They do a whole bunch of stuff that's really hard to reverse, whereas doing a little bit of digging, all Aprilia does is give you a detuned ECU. So the difference between a Tuono 660 and an RS 660 open is just that ECU difference. There's the police cruising past, but again, see what they're doing. So fingers crossed, we should be able to make this into a super wicked track bike just by doing a whole bunch of electronic goodness. Okay, so from front to back, our front wheel's fine. Our left side rotor looks pretty good, and we've got Brembos on it as well, which is a bit of a steal. But the forks are obviously bent. So I guess the biggest concern is this lower triple, because if we have to get a lower triple, we're looking at probably about $1,000, and we don't want to have to spend money on a lower triple. Our guard's buggered, but that's okay. There's one coming in the kit. Our right rotor's gone. Have you ordered rotors yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, we better get some rotors. The fairing's just completely munted. It looks as though the top radiator has got a complete, like a bend. Like, have a look up there. I'm pretty sure that radiator is dead. I think we're gonna need a new one. You reckon?
I think so.
You reckon? Okay, cool.
It feels very juicy.
But I actually think the headers haven't been touched. So if you ask me, I don't think there's any dents in the front of those headers.
They look alright.
Look alright, that's good, which means we can probably just do like maybe a slip-on. I'm not quite sure, we'll have to look at the exhaust options. Looks like the clutch cable's all fine. The frame has got a couple of marks on it just here, but that's probably okay. Tank's got a couple of marks, but it's all in one piece. Obviously everything on these bars is going, but the switchgear looks like it all still works, and it's got a key. So let's see if there's power, shall we? A dash, and the dash is actually in pretty good nick, so that's another thing we don't have to replace, because they're about $1,000. We got power?
We do not.
We got no power. Okay, that's all right. It's probably just a battery. We'll fix that. I think I've got spare batteries. Like there's stuff we don't need. Like a lot of this is going to go. A lot of this is going to come off.
Yeah.
I mean, my only other concern is that rear subframe, and I'm just not sure if that's actually straight. I don't think. I think maybe it's usable. Like once we strip all this off and put, like, are we going with? We're keeping the red seat, yeah?
No, tail section's on the way with the fairings.
So the tail section's got the race seat on it.
Yes. Yeah, the airplane pad, yeah.
Okay, sweet.
So this is gone, other than the subframe.
Okay, cool. So that's actually, we can now start tallying up the stuff that we're going to sell off this. So I would say the forks, even though they're bent, they're still worth something because people will buy them for the internal. So I'm going to say $300 for the forks, nothing for the right side rotor, probably nothing for the bar. That's dead. Maybe the top triple.
A quad lock.
Quad lock. There you go. You can put your phone on when you're on the track. So we can go seat, passenger seat, and the rear fairing and the light. I'm going to say there's probably $600 there in parts. So $600 plus $300. So we're at $900. What else can we sell off this?
Lights.
Yeah, the rear light. We got that.
Headlights still there, or are they gone?
No, there's no headlight.
Gone.
How's it gone?
Coolant reservoir, I think, needs to be relocated for the
Yeah, we'll put that on the fairing. Exhaust. Are we keeping the exhaust?
Sell it.
Selling the exhaust.
See how it comes up, I suppose.
Let's see how we go with the lotto tickets this week.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get this bike inside and start stripping it down.
Yep.
Carbon frame covers will look pretty sweet. So carbon frame covers for something like this is probably only like $300-400.
Worth it, I think.
So yeah, we'll just take the bottom fairing off, and that means that we can jack up from the engine. And then if we jack up from the bottom of the engine, it means we can take the entire front of the bike apart. So I'm wondering if the ECU on this side can just stay on this piece of housing just here with the new fairing that we get, or do we have to relocate that as well?
I'm not sure.
Because I think once we get this off, like the water bottle is attached to this, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm fairly sure this needs to be relocated. There is a kit you buy for that.
Okay, so we could relocate it that way. Did you get the kit with the fairing?
For the coolant overflow relocation, I did not yet.
We might be able to jimmy something up, I reckon. Instead,
Yeah.
like that's all I did with this one here is I just relocated everything inside of the front of the fairing itself.
Yeah.
For the old Aprilia, and I just found that works so easy.
I'm sure we'll be able to make something.
Cool. Let's pump that up so we've got the front wheel off. Cool, that's good, and we'll take the front wheel off and get the forks off. Okay, so things just got real. It's actually got a broken engine mount, so we're probably going to have to replace the top of the engine. I would say there'll be a fair few parts around. So Andy's already on eBay seeing what he can find. I reckon you're probably looking at $200-300, but it does force us out from 3 episodes to probably 4 because we're going to have to drop the engine completely out, which is actually not a small job, and then rebuild the top. Bugger. Look at that for a bend. A banana. Okay, so those forks were absolutely munted. Yeah, no chance saving them. But we are managing to get the bike stripped down pretty quick. I can give it another half an hour to an hour and a lot of it will be done. Okay. Oh, this is almost full. Oh, here we go. 1 fuel tank in pretty good condition. Okay, so I've just found another problem. So this frame here is actually smashed as well. So that's the part that the rear set sits on. So we're gonna need a replacement piece of that that footrest frame because this is where the rear set sits back here. This is the footrest, and it's completely sheared off. So somehow we've got to get a replacement, take it off this side whilst holding the bike up, pull the pin like an inch or two through, so the swing arm pin through, and then put the replacement on, push the swing arm pin back through, so that we don't have to take the whole bike apart into multiple pieces. So yeah, we're gonna need to go and get one of them ordered. Andy, the ordering man.
It's on the list.
Let's hope this list doesn't keep growing. The other thing we've noticed is that this is bent. So we're in two minds as to whether or not to try and bend this back, because this is the lower tank mount. Sorry, the lower, the tank mount. It's around about 1 centimeter forward. You can see where it's come forward. So we either try and bend it back, or we get a new OEM subframe off eBay. So decisions. Yeah, let's try putting one of the new forks in and see, just to test whether or not these triples are actually straight. Because if they are straight, then that saves us how much?
Maybe like 1,000-ish.
1,000-ish, right, let's test it.
Sizable.
Oh, yeah, they were a different profile, those forks, so. The top profile should still be the same though. Massive improvement already. Gold. Gold just speaks by like value. Like even if it's not Oldens, everyone just goes, yeah, gold's nicer, better than black.
Unless you faster.
Unless you've got those like limited edition black ones.
Yeah.
That's better.
Banana edition?
No, not the banana edition black ones, no.
Fruit salad edition.
Okay, radiator out. There's almost no fluid in the radiator. Like, not much at all. Yeah, that is massively bent, that radiator. That is gone. So we'll keep things like the radiator cap. We'll keep all the mounting points as well. Like all the rubber points, all of these little side points, the screw-in points, we'll keep all of that hardware and we'll use it on the new radiator that we get, because chances are someone would have stripped it off the other one that we buy. So those headers actually look okay. It doesn't even look like they've been touched. I reckon they're fine. We can take that horn off. Not gonna need a horn on the racetrack. But look at that. Look at what it's done to the oil filter. So, oil filter. Obviously we need a new oil filter anyway,
No,
but
that's gonna blow the budget.
20 bucks. 20 bucks we don't have. And this mount here on the side, this lower mount is actually bent right in. So this has taken a massive whack. So I'd say the front wheels come all the way back up, smashed into it. We're just lucky it didn't hit those headers, because you know there's $1,000 we've saved on those headers. So yeah, anyway, let's keep moving. We've got a lot of the bike stripped down already. So like, look at that. It's just the bones of a bike. So we have smashed through this build so far, or should I say deconstruction so far. The bike is stripped down, we've got the new forks on, which look bling. However, we're just not sure the bike is straight. We know we've got that broken engine mount. So before we go and drop $1,000 on a new cylinder head, we're gonna get the bike tested to see whether or not a frame doctor, a local guru here, can straighten all the bike, re-weld that cylinder head mount back on, and save us a lot of money in the long run. So next episode, we're gonna get the bike ready, get the axle on, get the front wheel back on, take it down to him, do some analysis, and then start putting the bike back together with all the new parts, which have already started arriving. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, you know the drill.